And we're live. In a minute to see if the see how the music sounds. Rather see if it's loud or anything. Of course. I can't hear the music. I can't tell how loud the music is. I can hear the music. I can't tell how loud it is for you guys. So you'll have to let me know how that's doing. But welcome back to Eagle Spire Gaming. It's another live stream. And today we are going to try to finish these guys up. Or, get as far as we can. Yeah. Pretty hopeful here. Feeling pretty good about it. I had taken the time to go ahead and finish out all the blue and all these. See if we can focus. Focus. Focus, camera. Are we having issues? I might be having issues. Feel like I'm having issues with the live stream. Something's wrong. My finger is moving randomly. Let me see if I can see how this does. I don't. Is this working? I think it's working. I don't know. It's very blurry. What's going on? Am I gonna have to try this with the? What is? How is it for you? I don't get what's happening here. Maybe I zoom in. No, it's not. It's like it's trying to do its own thing. Okay. There. You see the last communication. All right. Well, I'm not doing that. All right. I'm just gonna try it. Turn this down a little bit. That should be good there. All right. I don't know what's going on. Okay. We're just going to roll with it. See what happens. Let me try one thing here. Yeah. Is the volume at least working? All right. So I'm really excited about this. I got a new Balthazar Gold. This one is better, creamier. Kind of looks more like paint. The last batch I had was really old and drying up, and was just this is too much paint on my brush. It was too much too dried out. I had to put a lot of liquid to it to get it to work. This is really watery, so I'm gotta find the right balance here, and this is not the right balance. And how do I? Hey, I'm having an issue here. Can you grab me downstairs? There's the cable. Can you grab that real quick? Cable to my phone. Charge the phone. Phone charger.
Where is it?
By the chair. Oh, it's going on this thing. All right, give me 1 second. All right, I'm going to try to set up a different camera and see how that works. So bear with me 1 second, please. Not sure how to end this. How do I? Oh boy, what am I doing here? All right, this is my old camera, my old phone, and I think this one works better, where it will focus better, because I think the problem is that new phone was not focusing, and I don't know why, and I don't have time to fix that right now. So instead of trying to figure that out, we're just going to use what works. Does this work? Is this working? I think it's working. So, all right. I don't know what I'm just gonna start over. Welcome to Expert Gaming. I don't know how to cope with the issue I was just having, so I'm gonna start this thing over and say that I got a new paint. I got new paint for the Balthazar Gold. This little guy, it's coming out a lot creamier than the other one. The other one, very dried up. I had it for a long time. I painted a lot with it. It was pretty much spent too. So I didn't just get this new bottle just because the old one was drying up. I got it because it was pretty much out. Um, that might be why it was drying up. I don't know. I don't know what the problem was with it. I don't know what caused the problem with it. I just know that the problem was with it. So now I got this one. So today we're going to be painting these guys, and if I am careful, we might even be able to finish them, because I have finished all of the black and the blue, or at least, I put down the area for the black and the blue. There might be I might need to touch it up after I do this. That's just how it goes sometimes. So now we're on to the metallics. And we're in that zone where, as I am painting these metallics, I am getting that warm and fuzzy feeling of, oh, wow, look, they're starting to look so good. They're starting to look so finished. When so much of them is still, that bare base color white, and I haven't done anything to it yet. Or even if I painted a lot of it black and I only had the blue, when it's just the two colors or three colors with this, that's a third, 1, 2, 3, but that doesn't count because that's not what I want it to be. It looks really, it looks so unfinished, so far from being finished, and it can feel like a mountain of work is left to be done with it. So when I start getting to a certain point, it starts to feel like the tide is shifting. Like each stroke is getting you 10 strokes closer to the finish line, and I feel like I'm hitting that point right now. When I started these and I was doing the blue, last week, and I've only done a little bit of painting since then. I think, well, a lot of painting, but I've only done the one painting session since then. But last week, that painting session that we had, that was not, that was in that danger zone of I have everything to do. This feels overwhelming. There's so much going on. It feels like you're a step away from burnout when you've just started. Now I'm feeling really good about it, really confident, because it's coming along. It's coming along good and quick. So I'm feeling like, and Tuesdays with this live stream, Tuesdays have really become a day of I can just paint. I've actually been painting quite a bit today. I got off work a couple of hours ago. It was my short day for work. I didn't have to put in nearly as many hours as my longer days. So I just was sitting there painting, and getting these ready for this part. Hey, how's it going? Go for it painting. How are you today? Welcome to the channel. Again. What are you working on today? What are you painting? Yeah, so it feels like I can get a lot done. And I think if I get through all of this bronze, which there's not, it's pretty straightforward. There's a couple of spots that I plan on putting the bronze at. But if I can get through all of this bronze, which again, I'm saying bronze, the color is itself, it's Balthazar gold, but it looks bronze and it has a bronze feel to it. I'm using it as a bronze or something. So we're just going to call it a bronze. When I get through all this, then I will do silver, specifically lead belcher. And then I don't think we're going to have any gold on these guys. So if I get through all of the silver and all of the Balthazar gold, all the silver and all the bronze, then I will be so close to being done. We'll probably do a yellow for these little light bulbs. I don't want to paint those as position lights. I want to paint those as or smack lights. I want to paint them as floodlights. To as they're coming in, so they can see the landing, see where they're coming and where the ground's going to be. See that landing zone. That'll probably be red right there, and maybe that'll be blue or yellow. And then make that a floodlight, another floodlight. I don't know. And then probably gonna do a maybe do that wire red or something. We'll see. So that'll be a good little good bit of splitting the colors up, making it stick out, breaking things up, breaking up that solid black. We don't want that black to be so overpowering, that greenish black. I gotta sneeze. Good afternoon. How's it going, James? Good to have you on. Oh, I thought I had already done that side. Oops. The challenging part is there's 8 of these little guys. So unlike with the Marauders, where there was only two guys to go through, you could finish one and then work on the other, and however much time it took you to do one, you knew that it was going to take you twice as long. Take you that long again to do the other. Now it's everything. Every guy is going to take another 8 times that. Total amount of time for everything will be 8 times however long it takes to do this first one. And yeah, baking in the North Carolina sun. Nice day though. Yeah, I think when I finish the stream, I might try to go outside, see what's going on out there. It's a nice day out. It'll still be early when I finish. Oh, so then we'll need to do the windows. We'll do the windows the same way I did the Marauder windows, which I did not do on live stream. And depending, time permitting, maybe we'll do them live stream this time. Maybe not. These are bigger windows, I think, or they feel bigger. More of a faceplate type deal. Large faceplate as opposed to the smaller pieces, the smaller collective pieces, where the Marauder has like window and a little window there, so it's got more pieces. This is just 2 pieces, which is hard. How do you can't look left or right? There's only forward on these things. Now, James or anyone else that was here, if you were in here when I was first trying to get everything going, I don't know how it looked on your end. On my end, I was having some issues, and I was able to fix it in those first few minutes. So, anybody able to tell me what was going on? What they saw? What were you guys looking at? Get some more paint. One day, I don't know if I even could, right? I'm pretty sure the last time I tried, when I was making when I live streamed building the War Master, I did that in like 3 videos. Or I worked on it in 3 videos. But it would cut out. Like after 5 hours, it was like, no, I'm done. You're not filming anymore. You're done. The stream will not work. And I don't know if that was my phone being an issue or if that was maybe that was an issue of the computer. I don't know. Oh wait, was I? I guess I wasn't. No, it was my computer. I was live streaming everything through my computer. I was filming everything through my computer. So I don't know where the issue came from with that. But if I could have a very long live stream, one day I should try to do a 24-hour live stream and maybe do one of those paint an entire 2,000 point army in a single day, in a single 24 hours. That'd be wild. I bet you no one's tried to do that before. Probably for good reason. Not the 24-hour army thing. That I've seen at least a Warhammer video for and a fantasy. So a 40K and a fantasy video for that. No, live streaming. I don't know if anybody's ever has anyone ever live streamed 24 hours? Has anyone ever live streamed their painting an army? Probably not. So far, I think it's taken 18 minutes. Well, a bit of that was me trying to figure out the camera situation, so I'm just going on with that. If it takes 20 minutes to do each one of these, I've got 6 of them to do total. So if I can do this guy in 20 minutes, then it'll take the entire 2 hours, assuming that I do each one in 20 minutes. It'll take 2 hours to finish all 4 of them. Who has seen the new video, 40K cinematic video trailer launch thing? I am it's impressive. I'm a little disappointed though because maybe it's not. Maybe there's another video. There's another video with the orcs. It just feels like if this is the video, if this is like the 11th edition video, the 8th edition, not the 8th, the 9th and 10th edition videos felt more because they were focused to the one threat. They were focused to the threat that's in the box. I like that more. But this video, the threat in the entire video is and it's just quoting that line that was on the back of like all the old books and stuff. Might still be on the back of boxes and books, I don't remember. The whole is the 41st millennium. The emperor sat immobile in his golden throne for 10,000 years. You know, that whole bit. But they had the threat, the chaos. Here's a bit of orcs. Here's a bit of. They have any Tyranids? Oh yeah, they did have it. They had quite a bit of Tyranids. Here's a bit of Eldar. Here's like a single scene of Eldar, and honestly, that Eldar could have been doing it. You know, like that could have been like you could start a whole new series about that Eldar, and you know, have them kind of had like a we're at home and we have to defend our home kind of thing. You know, it didn't need to be. It wasn't necessarily a threat to the Imperium, except for the fact that all Xenos are a threat to the Imperium. If any Inquisitors are watching, but yeah, no, it's just it just kind of looked like he was sitting there. But then what else was in the video? If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a good video. It just felt like it was. I don't know. I like the that Tyranid video from last edition and the Necron video with the sisters from the edition before. Those were pretty good. It was very different from those. That's all I'm saying. All right, so we got those done. We are gonna. Arvus Lighters are transports. They are not combat, which is kind of upset. Like, so they have no weapons. So, if I'm not mistaken, a Rhino costs 10 points and can have like it can transport 2 bases and has a which is 10 Marines, and has a machine gun on it. And the Arvus Lighter is essentially the same thing, 10 points, which 10 points transports 2 bases, which is 10 people. It's flying, but also doesn't have a gun. So it trades gun for wings, which is, I don't know if that's a fair trade, but it's the trade that they went with. And they're nice. They're nice, but it lets you transport some people in there. But then after you transport them, they literally do nothing except you can use them to. You could pick up other units with them, but why would you? The game doesn't really. It's not really a useful tactic in the game to pick up drop off one unit, fly back, pick up another unit, take it somewhere else. You could, and maybe there's times where that works and times where that's necessary. But what you're more likely to do is, or what players are more likely to do, what you probably shouldn't do because it's kind of lame in a few ways. But and people want these things to cost a whole lot of points because you can do it. But I'd rather just not be able to do it. But you can charge people with them. You can charge tanks and be like, now your tanks can't shoot. Your tanks can't shoot because I charged you with a bunch of cheap transports that already did their job. Anything after that is bonus. And they kind of should have guns because, like, I don't know what this thing is. Maybe it's a refueling probe. But these little guys are definitely missile racks. And ironically, all the ones that I did with the refueling probes have the missile racks. And I probably could have mixed those up, but maybe this is the sensor, maybe this is the guidance for the missile rack. I don't know. But yeah. So let's do the underside over here. I'll use the bigger brush for the top side. Use the smaller brush for the underside. Get that engine in there. Good question, though. Thank you for the question. Greetings, Fanny Packs and Kittens. Fun name. How are you today? David, how are you doing? Hello there. What have you missed? You missed the beginning, in which I have no idea what catastrophic failure was happening. But the camera, I got a new camera. I got a new phone, and I was using that to film, and it wouldn't. See how it's kind of what's it called? It's focusing. The new camera wasn't focusing. I don't know why. I don't know. I'll have to look into that and see what I can do to fix that. But this camera focuses, so I switched back to the old camera. So now we're, that's pretty much what you missed. I had a brief talk about. I inspired you to do paint and chill yourself. Much better when you have some company. Awesome. What are you painting today, Fanny Packs? And are you is your paint and chill just painting and chilling with me, or are you filming your own painting and chilling? Obviously haven't done the chant of activation. No, yeah, I thought I did the chant of activation, but I might have missed a step. Who's to say? Who's to say? These things, they've been lost to time. We can't build microwaves. It's not that we lost the technology for the microwaves, it's that we lost the technology for the timers. See, time is very abstract in 40K. Because of the warp, it's hard to have everyone on the same schedule, right? Because you got Earth, and Earth has a time, and everywhere past Earth, everywhere past the solar system, you have to fly through the warp to get there, and the warp warps time. So if you try to fly somewhere and be like, "Hey guys, I have the time. It's currently 2:57," and you get there, it's not 2:57 Earth Standard Time anymore. It's not June 2nd anymore because you flew through the warp and it took you -2 days to get there. So everything's all off. So you can't or it took you 3 hours to get there, but it took 3 real world days to get there, but it only took you 2 hours to get there. So you can't trust time. So clocks don't work. So they lost the technology for the timers because timers don't matter anymore. They lost technology for timers on microwaves, and thus, but the microwaves that they were building all require the timer. You need a timer to make the microwave work. So they just don't have the ability to build microwaves because they don't have the ability to build timers. Yeah, painting's much better when you have company. Filming your own. Oh, cool. You got your around and working on. What are you painting? What do I know what your channel is? I don't know if I've talked to you about that. I talk to a bunch of people, and sometimes I forget things because I have a memory issue. I didn't praise the Omniscience enough. I actually cursed the Omniscience. No, wait, the Omniscience cursed me. In the last battle report, I needed a 6, and the Omniscience did not deliver. I called upon the Omniscience to bless my dice, and the Omniscience did not bless my dice. What are you painting your Warhound? What Legio? Warhounds are all. I'll assume it's a epic scale Warhound. Correct me if it is a full scale Warhound. Those are awesome. So remember how I said if I do this in 20, if I do the first one in 20 minutes, then I'd be done in an hour. I'd be done in the 2 hours with this. Well, I forgot that I was no longer on. I forgot I already finished the first one. So I was about to say, we're not going to get there because this thing's only halfway done. I completely forgot. Legio Ascetics. I think we did have a conversation because I remember seeing that name pop up. I don't remember which Legio that is though. So I am going to quickly control copy paste. Oh, blue and white. Kind of similar. It's almost similar to in appearance to. Forgive me for saying this. Legio Tempestus, where they are blue. So I don't know what the difference is because I know my opponent's Legio Tempestus is blue and white. So this is blue and white. It's clearly the picture I'm looking at is clearly different because it's solid blue and solid white. Is that the difference between the two? Let's look up Legio Tempestus next. Tempestus. Oh, so Legio Tempestus is a different shade of blue. It's mostly blue, and there's a little bit of white. That's a valid difference. It's just not the expected one. Different shade of blue, and then there's gold. Legio Tempestus is silver. So they do have a very different appearance, but very similar. Epic scale. It was really hard for you to pick, hard to pick the aesthetics. What ended up being the reason that you picked aesthetics? If you don't mind my asking. Heads mostly. Oh, are the heads different? Oh, the red. Yeah, the red does make it. The red does stick out. You can say hi. I got Crayola here. Different shade of blue and the white and blue alternate. So L leg, left leg could be white and right shoulder blue. Yeah, cool. I had a hard time picking. Do you remember me going back and forth on the different Legios that I could paint, and I was so torn up on it because I was like, this would be this, and this would. I can't remember the other one. It was like a cream and a red. I want to say it's like Ardex or something. I think their lore is, and I've forgotten the name and the colors since. They had a kind of a Barbary feel to them with the colors. Yeah. It was like a creamsicle, like almost a bone color or cream and red. And when you had the stripes, it had a very barbershop feel to it. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to. I think their lore was something like they were almost wiped out, or they were wiped out in small pockets, or there was only pockets of them left in various places. And I think they had something to do with like a lot of warhounds. I think they had a lot of warhounds. And I really was thinking I should do them. They look fun. I think at the time the lore, what I remember is that the lore, and forgive me for not remembering everything in my own backstory. The lore was appealing to me, and I was enjoying it. But I like the color yellow, and I ended up deciding. Ignatum, because why are you leaving? You can say hi. You can chat with them. Yeah, I ended up deciding on Legio Ignatum because the deciding factor ended up being. Oh, what am I doing here? Use the other brush. The deciding factor ended up being that I recognized that Legio Ignatum would be a lot harder to do because of all of the Hornet stripes. We don't call them hazard stripes. Hazard stripes are for traders.
Which isn't that what I play?
Yes, you play traders.
Yeah, that's why I said I like them.
Legio Ignatum is not traders though, which is why we call it Hornet stripes. So I knew that they would be hard to do. All those Hornet stripes would be really difficult, and I ended up deciding that the motto is take the harder path because the easy path will damn you. I can say that, right?
I think so.
It's not like I'm going to get demonetized. I'm not monetized.
I think.
Yeah. Red lore little, and the second color seemed good. Yeah, no, it looks really good colors, and I definitely want to see yours when finished. The dragon looking thing has me thinking Void Dragon that the Emperor fought. Wonder if that's where they get that from. I don't know their lore, but it's a really cool looking thing, and those colors do go very well. I think they look really nice. So yeah, I definitely would like to see yours when you finish them. I don't know if you're on my Discord. That would be the easiest way for me to see them. But I guess if you have your own videos, I could hop on over. Go ahead and link your channel if you. I think you said you had your own videos. Filming your own, yeah, link that. But I'm telling you though, I'm really thinking I want to do after I finish doing all of my solar auxiliary. I've got a feeling I might want to go back and do more Titans because Titans are fun. Also, you could probably finish a Titan in a few weeks. A few good weeks of solid work, maybe even up to a minimum of 2. A few good weeks, finish a Titan, boom. That's 400 points, 600 points, something like that, right? Those Shadow Swords I did, those took a few weeks. Those took like 4 or 5 weeks, and I got 400 and something points out of them. Probably 480. All right, cool. Let me get you the Discord real quick. I'll link that. Anybody can feel free. Anybody watching this, anybody seeing this, feel free to join Discord. This link is for everybody. Link to server, copy link. I don't know how to make these links permanent. I'll give that a try. I'll try to figure that out. But yeah, take that link, hop on over to our Discord, say hello, post pictures, all that good stuff. You know, it's a place for people to hang out, chill. There's not a lot of people in it. There's a few people. We're a small community, mostly because I don't really have them. I think the links are temporary, like they're only good for like a week. So I don't know how to. You have to gatekeep really difficultly. It's going to be, it's a challenge. It's a challenging gatekeeping. But yeah, so I don't know how to make the Discord links last. I think they're only, at least when I first made the Discord, but this was like a year ago. I think I made it before I had the chemo. So, but oh, cool, yeah. Where do you I don't know if I've asked you this before. Where do you play? Where are you? I am also trying to grow my Legions Imperialis for my area. It is a challenging thing to do. I do not. Sweet. Welcome to the Discord. Yeah, I think I've played against 3 different people at the store, and then I played against 3 or 4 people technically at my house. But it's a military community, so a lot of people they move, they leave. I played one person twice, and I haven't heard or seen from them since. Not just in Legions Imperialis, but like they used to be in the store a lot too. And I just haven't seen them at the store since. And then there is Texas. Yeah, okay, yeah, I was talking with you because I remember somebody saying Texas. I will have to come visit though. We'll have to do a collaboration because the Big Texan, I believe that's the name of the restaurant I'm thinking of. Oh, tomahawk steaks there, delicious. Right now using Twitch, probably YouTube. Yeah, okay, cool. I read all that part. I think my brother was saying I should do, was he saying Twitch or something else? I don't remember. I don't use that stuff, though. I don't use those newer things. I don't know what I'm doing with them. I'm just old enough that I'm set in my ways for technology, and I don't like doing new things. So Twitch and Snapchat and all that stuff, not for me. I tried getting on Snapchat because I had somebody I worked with, and that's like their only way that they'll communicate with me. Somebody I used to work with, right? I went to their wedding and stuff, but like I don't hear from them ever, and I'm only on that. I only have Snapchat for my former coworker to invite me to their wedding, but Snapchat wants to keep sending me these messages and being like, "Hey, here's a pop-up. You need to come check this out." I was like, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm in North Carolina. Rowan says hi. Hi, Rowan. Is Rowan subscribed? Rowan is subscribed. Watch from his phone. For those following along, Rowan is don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Unless you don't like the video. If you don't like the video, let me know why in the comment section. And I'll see what I can do. We'll see if we can fix that. We'll fix it. If we can't fix it, then there's just nothing to be done about it, right? Like that happens. It's okay. Not everything is for everybody. Isn't that right, Crayola?
That is correct.
Not everything is for everybody, but we can make some accommodations. Maybe you don't like this because I'm not painting a Tyranid right now. Well, maybe one day I'll paint a Tyranid if you'd like a Tyranid painted. We can do that. It probably won't be right now. If you say, hey, Crown, paint a Tyranid, I'll be like, eventually. One day I will paint a Tyranid, but today is not that day. But maybe you say, hey, Crown, instead of painting all 8 of these at once, why don't you just focus on one? We only want to see one. Well, we might have to do a vote on that and see. You want a bullet bar right there?
Yeah.
Be a good place for one.
It would be the place. The other one's kind of.
Hey, Crayon, we want Crayola to tell us what she knows about the horsey heresy. She's an expert in the horsey heresy. I don't think anyone else knows about the horsey heresy as much as she does. Yeah, I'm right by Camp Lejeune. That's right. I'm like 30 minutes from Camp Lejeune. I drive down there to, there's a store down there. They don't play it. They don't play. They play some stuff. I can get paint from there, though. And I buy some stuff from there from time to time. I also try to buy from, I try to support the local guys, but that local shop, through no fault of their own, just very competitive Warhammer 40K scene. So not really I probably need to like go there with my armies and be like, who wants to do a demo game? But I'm kind of busy. And but yeah, they not really what the people there are playing,
Yeah.
And I'll take care of them. Cherry Point, that's where I go. That's where Rules of Engagement is. That's where we do our battle force. What are you doing? Stop throwing M&Ms all over the place.
You want one?
Yes. These M&Ms are like the size of meteors to those people that you're throwing them at. Can you guys hear her? Is she eligible or legible, or do you guys? She's not eligible. Is she legible to you guys, or am I just talking to myself? Eligible, legible.
I don't think legible's like for writing. Like
you can hear. That sounds.
That doesn't sound right.
I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Somebody help me out.
Edible.
Edible? It's not edible. I mean, definitely not edible. Fun fact. Fun fact, kids. Everything in this room is edible, including you and me. But that's called cannibalism and it's frowned upon in most countries. Most countries. Well, I guess 99.99% is most.
You think like they're like small soldiers?
They are like small soldiers.
You know that movie?
Indian in the Cupboard. Oh, small soldiers.
And small soldiers when they become alive. What kind of hope they did that?
It'd be kind of horrifying if they did that. Also, that required like an AI chip in their head, or in their voice recognition. Their voice software was advanced AI. That somehow also gave them the ability to move, so that requires that they also had like animatronic limbs, which I guess isn't far-fetched.
Or you could put them in like the club agriculture. Then you could make them not alive.
No, I have always thought Indian in the Cupboard. If you're not familiar with Indian in the Cupboard, Indian in the Cupboard is a movie, auditable.
See, I told you it wasn't legible. Legible's for writing, yeah.
Audible? Auditable makes it sound like
audiobooks.
The IRS is able to audit.
That's
I am some auditable.
No,
audible.
Audible.
Audible. Audible. So Indian in the Cupboard, older movie. Kid has a magic cupboard that turns his any toys he sticks into it. He closes the door. He opens the door. And they are alive. Does it again, there you go back to being toys. He puts like a Darth Vader and maybe like a Boba Fett, and there's a no, there's definitely like an Indiana Jones in there. There's a scene where he's like, what does this work on? And he's got T-Rex in there and stuff, and there might be like a Jeep or something. He ends up, throughout most of the movie, it's just the Indian and there's a cowboy too. And I've always thought if I had that ability and I could put a bunch of Space Marines in it, and then I could be like, hey, so I paint one Space Marine, and then I put the Space Marine into thing, and then I enlist him to help me paint the rest of the Space Marines. But he would probably see me as a Chaos God and try to kill me. So that's horrifying. Could you imagine waking up in the middle of the night and getting curb stomped on your eyeball? Because that's really the only way that I think a 32 millimeter plastic soldier is going to be able to do any damage to you. So he's got to wait until you go to sleep so that he can. He's got to wait for you to fall asleep so that he can climb up there and just start kicking your eyeball. I mean, I guess the power sword. I don't know. This power sword could also hurt, but so it's been. Yeah, we might have to film a little longer today if we want to try to get all the bronze done. That's okay though, because when you get into the zone, you get into the zone. You made it up. Oh, I just now read that you made Auditable up and Crayola has left. She doesn't know that might be fake. Anemators, we hear. Okay, you guys can hear her. I didn't check. Like Horsey Heresy. Yeah, the Horsey Heresy. Not the Horse Heresy, the Horsey Heresy, which is what she. There's like an early video that we did like 2 years ago where she thought it was Horsey Heresy. And I was thinking about that the other day, about how she had said that. Hey, they made it up. Auditable? They made it up. It might be real, but they also might have made it. They made it up. So it might also be real, but they don't know. You got to look it up. 1980 book, part of a 5-part series. Indian in the Cupboard is a 5-part series. The book, probably not.
Well, that would have to be right because there's audiobooks. So.
Audiobooks would not be the same audible though. Auditable. Necessarily. Would not inherently be the same. Could be the same. Not guaranteed. 32 millimeter power sword would probably, but it's also a sharp sword, right? So like, I mean, the power sword isn't a power sword because it has electricity. The power sword is a power sword because it is a force field wrapped around the shape of the sword. So the sword is only there to provide structure for the force field to wrap around. The force field giving it a very sharp edge that doesn't dull because it's not a real sword. I buy all my models. 3D printing would be a hobby in its own. And I don't like the way 3D printed models have like the topographical. Yeah. They have like that topographical texture to them. I don't care for that. GW models are more expensive. They are most of the time a premium models, and that makes them more, which is why they're more expensive. I'm doing the premium models because they're premium, I guess. I guess if I wanted bulk. I have an allowance. I spend my allowance on Warhammer. If I wanted I need hundreds of missile launchers. I need to 3D print them. I would do that, I guess. It's just not what I want, though. So I already have more models than I'll probably be able to paint in the next 10 years. So don't give me that face. I've had more models than I'll be able to paint for the next 10 years for the entire time that you've known me. That's just always been a factual statement. As the number down, it still goes up. As I work on it, it goes up. Oh yeah, you have to buy the models if you want GW to continue to support the game. And as much as the community could support the game and run it themselves, it wouldn't be a unified front, so it doesn't matter. Printing to test is a good one. Printing terrain is another good option because like sometimes you just can't get the GW only makes so much terrain, and if you want diversity, sometimes you either have to make it yourself or kit bash it yourself or buy it from someone else who made it themselves. So, yeah. I have my, I've never felt like I spend too much on Warhammer because I just spend my allowance, It's like gambling. If I go to the casino and I bet money I can't afford to lose, then I kind of deserve to lose my house. If I go to online websites and I spend money I can't afford to spend, well, I kind of did it myself. Crayola's laughing at that. She's moving back and forth, so you can't hear everything she's doing because she's in like the hallway. She's at the end of the hallway right now looking at me. And now she's walking away and she's turning back around. She's running at me. Call CPS.
What do you see? That's child protective. You need adult. You need adult.
Call APS.
And I skipped at you. I didn't run at you.
It was a very aggressive motion. We have fun. Let's see. If you like the unit want more, you buy the boxes. Yeah. Oh, you print to test the unit out, the model out. That's cool. I assumed you were saying to like test out paints and stuff or something. I don't know. Indian in the Cupboard, Return of the Indian, Secrets of the Indian, Mystery of the Cupboard, and The Key to the Indian. Man, it's like they didn't have any other toys back then. All the toys were Indians. Yeah, we're printing a lot of terrain right now. I want to buy another box of terrain and make a big old kit bash terrain thing that is just going to be epic and awesome. The problem I have is I'm very what's the word? I'm systematic about how I paint things, right? So I build the things, I prime the things, I paint the things. I don't want to leave things in stages of half complete. There's a couple of things I have built right now that are primed and waiting to be painted. Yes. And that's partially because like the weather here is very humid at times and like you get a chance to paint it or whatever. But like, so I can't really apply that logic to the greatest efficiency of build, paint, finish, build, paint, finish. I can't just do that. I have to build. And sometimes, especially during the chemo, there were times where it was just like, I'm not painting today. I can build something. I can't paint anything right now because nothing's primed and I need to build something. So, that's the only thing I can do to further the hobby along. So I have a small collection of things that are built. Some of them are primed. All are waiting to be, put to the brush. But the systematicness of it extends out to I need to finish the Solar Auxiliary before I start working on the Space Marines. I did build a Thunderhawk because it's a Thunderhawk and I needed to have it finished. Needed to have it built. So it is built. It is not primed. It is not painted. I won't even prime it until I finish these guys. It's right here. It's right here. It's it's a Thunderhawk, right? You gotta have your Thunderhawk. Look how big it is. I think I made it to show how big it was compared to a Warhound. Goodness, it's bigger. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be next to a Warhound. But yeah, so I don't want to. I've built the basic terrain. I don't want to start building like complex kit bashes and like destroyed rubble and stuff. I don't want to start working on those while I'm working on this stuff. But I should. I should work on it. I might want to 3D print some Warhounds just so I can destroy them and have them as rubble too. GW does sell you the terrain. Let me scroll up a little bit, see what we got going on here. 3D printed models using resin are way better. I don't think the 3D models look as good. Or maybe you're saying 3D models with resin are better than 3D models with something else. I don't know what the other thing would be, though. I don't know how you 3D print models. I know you get the 3D printer. Resin printed models are really nice. Of course, GW would gladly sell you terrain. I want them to build a wall set. I want GW to build me a nice plastic wall set so I can make that. Otherwise I got a kit bash one, and I don't want to do that. I don't really want to kit bash a wall because I don't really have the pieces I want. I don't really have a way that I want it to look. I want to see what they think a wall should look like with their rules. And that would make it a lot easier for me to decide what I'm going to do. You want to test them, paint, etc. before you buy like 10 of them. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Your 3D resin printer is down and the screen went bad. Oh, that's terrible. Somehow, some way, you deserve that. What, her running at me? I don't remember what was happening at that moment. Not in the 80s, dude. Oh, yeah, you know, well, in the 80s, I don't know about the 80s, but in the 90s, they had like Z-Bots and stuff. And like, so all these toys that were like these matching sets or whatever. And I'm kind of upset because like, I'd love to buy my son something like that. They just don't make it. They don't make toys like that anymore. Like all the toys are Legos now. All the toys are Legos. There's some Marvel or DC superheroes that you can buy, action figures, and like some Transformers and Nerf guns, and that's it. Like, what else is there? Like, or you got to go onto like the internet and look for stuff. And I don't like buying stuff off the internet because you don't know what it's going to look like in hand. You 3D print bases too. Yeah, that's a good use of 3D printers. So we can have variety. You also 3D print things that you want to paint just for fun, like trying out the new Legio scheme, maybe. Yeah, I've been trying to get James to 3D print me a bunch of like random animals and stuff so that I could have so that my kids could paint them because they always want to paint my expensive Warhammer tanks, and that's not something I want them to do until they I probably should just let them do it, but like I don't want them. They're getting older now, but that was something I was trying to do for like years, was have something they can paint that wasn't quite as expensive as Warhammer. You have some amazing 3D wall files. Cool. How many points you got? I don't have time to paint for fun. Everything I paint has to be like for purpose. I have to finish these guys so that I can go on to the next guys, I have to finish everything. There is no painting for fun. I mean, it's fun to paint. I'm enjoying this. I enjoy what I'm painting. I just can't paint something willy-nilly. In the past, I've painted some like D&D models and stuff that I got. I've got a bunch of those. I'll have to show you guys sometime. I'm too invested in trying to I want to finish this. I want to finally have a finished collection where I own nothing else for the collection to be painted, right? And Solar Auxiliary are getting close to that point. Like I've got I've got 20 Lingering Russes, 6 Dracusons, 4 Malcadors, 2 more Baneblades, these guys, and then like a box and a half of support, and then I'll be done. And that's actually still a lot, but it's probably like, it's probably less than 6 months. I'll probably be done. Oh, wow, we're halfway through the year. I'll probably be done with these before the end of the year. And as long as GW, okay, wait for me to finish this sentence before you say anything, before you think anything. Nobody think any thoughts. As long as GW doesn't make anything new for Legions Imperialis or specifically for Solar Auxiliary, I will be finished with my Solar Auxiliary collection within the year. Which is weird because I want them to come out with some new stuff. So if they do what I want them to do, then I won't be finished within the year. Or I might still be able to finish within the year, but like it would add to the time that I already have. And then I can start working on the next thing. I want them to make ranged Velatari units, ranged elite units, right? Think rotary cannons and Volkites and stuff. Maybe some Ogren with some ranged weapons, maybe some other Sentinels, maybe a light Sentinel or something. I don't know. Something. Maybe some sort of cavalry unit. I don't know. I want them to do that. And I might also just go, I might buy another thing of infantry. Just to bump up the numbers just a little bit more. Because right now I have all the infantry I realistically needed, but I painted 2 boxes worth as traders. So I need a little bit more loyalist. I need a little bit more loyalist guard, Solar Auxiliary. But then after that, I'd be done. You bet they'll have. You think around Christmas? That's a long wait. That's a long wait, considering the last time we got anything was around Christmas. I was thinking about doing a video for. I was thinking about doing a video for the ultimate guide to Solar Auxiliary. Go over all the units, deep dive, not just the rules for them, but like how I would use them, how I would rate them, how I would, everything. And I want to call it Tactical Tuesdays, but on a Wednesday or something, because today's Tuesday. Can't do Tactical Tuesday on Tuesday because we do live stream Tuesdays. And I don't want to change the live stream date unless a lot of people were like, hey, I could watch your live stream if you moved it to a different day of the week. Then I will consider doing it. Or I might do 2 live streams. We'll see. I don't know. I need to tell the music to keep playing because we ran out of music. There we go. Seems like you think it's on an annual release cycle? So the last release was Christmas. So if they release another one this Christmas, yes, it would be an annual release. But like, and I don't want to argue. That could be what they do, but like the release before the last release was not the previous Christmas, right? So like, if it is now on a annual release cycle, an annual Christmas release cycle, that would make sense. It's just the previous, like the last release was 6 months ago, and I think the release before that was also 6 months ago, or 6 or 7, depending on how you want to count it. Yeah, they slowed down. The fact that we haven't seen anything yet, they have slowed down, and that was inevitable, right? Because there's not much left to release. Space Marines have a handful of things you could probably. I think they covered it. They covered a lot of it with the last 2 releases, which were both pure Space Marines. The all those super heavy tanks and stuff, like what else is there? They got most of it. You could do a different armor terminator, and you could do different armor terminator, different armor terminator, but you could also do melee focused terminators. But you could also, and you could do breachers, and you could do, infantry with las cannons, heavy bolters, meltas, plasma cannon. You could do infantry with all those different weapons. They've put those weapons. They've mentioned those weapons in the rule book, the Imperial Fist Legion trait. So, there's room for them to do stuff, but not much. And they could probably do they could do bikes with some special weapons. They could do stuff. Would it sell as well as a new box of 40K stuff? Probably not. I mean, Legions Imperialis was never going to sell as much as a box of 40K stuff, but even a new kit now isn't going to sell as much as other kits have, and that's where it becomes a problem. They want to capitalize profits. They want to maximize profits. And that means making the thing that's going to make the most profits. And if something else is going to make more, then why make the other thing? They could easily do, I don't know if you've seen me say this before. Let me catch up here. Probably drop another. When you get there, where was I? You've got 1,000 points right now? Okay. So you got some time to go before we get to a point where I can come out to play a 3K game with you. When you get there, GW will probably drop another set. I'm guessing. Okay, I skipped something. Single annual release cycle. They've slowed down, focusing on Golden Goose of 40K. Yep. Always the case. Definitely painted themselves in the corner with Horus Heresy. I think they could expand upon it. There's a bunch of stuff mentioned in the books of Dark Mechanicum things that are vaguely mentioned and described, and they have no name and there is no model for them, and it's just horrifying things that wipe through enemy units. So they could definitely make more. If they make more for Dark Mechanicum, they probably have to make more for the Adeptus Mechanicus itself. That said, my Mechanicum army, I only had 3 boxes of infantry. I want to say 2 boxes of Automata, 2 boxes of Karachnos, 2 boxes of Cryos, 2 boxes of Overlords, and 1 box of the Stalkers and Stalker constructs, and that is 9,000 points. Or maybe 7,000 points. Maybe the 9,000 points is if I include the knights. That's not a lot of boxes, and it's a huge amount of points. So that's kind of they might not feel a need to put much more to those things. But I think they should. They at least need aircraft for them, and they need aircraft, and they need something about this looks wrong, and I don't know what it is. Mechanicum and Dark Mechanicum, but they can share. Need aircraft, and they need anti-aircraft. It doesn't need to be more tarantula turrets, but it needs to be something. And what they could do is they could have those robots that are on the wheel, the robots that are the torso on wheels. That could be, I can't remember what they're called, but those have guns. You can put some AA guns on those things. Those could be mobile tarantulas, I don't know. In the lower time period, they fought orcs and Eldar. Yes, so that was something I was going to say. So I have for a long time now advocated that what will end up happening is we will see and Custodes, possibly some sort of Book of Terra, something, Siege of Terra book, something like that. We will see those things, and then sometime after that, we will see Orcs and Eldar. And then, now they may decide to do that as, maybe the Chaos, maybe the Demons and the Custodes, maybe that's Legions Imperialis 2.0 or whatever, right? Or maybe Orcs and Eldar is Legions Imperialis 2.0. I don't know. Maybe after Orcs and Eldar, then they say, hey, here's Legions Imperialis 2.0. It's no longer a Horus Heresy game. It's now just a game of Warhammer. And we have other alien factions, right? Or they may say that that's maybe that's a new addition. Maybe that's a new game that also uses Legions Imperialis model. The problem is, at that point, do you make a new Guard faction, or is Solar Auxiliary and Guard the same? Like, how do you do that? Because I do not want to. I will buy demons to go. I may not buy a lot of demons, but I'll buy demons to fight alongside my Trader Marines. I will buy Custodes. I may buy more, maybe I'll buy them as depends on how they do them. I may buy them as an allied force. I may buy them as a complete force. I will buy an entire thing of Orcs and Eldar. I will buy a huge amount of Tyranids. I will buy a huge amount of Sisters of Battle. I will buy Necrons. I'd buy so many Tau too, just because Tau would look so good at this scale, and all of them would look, especially the Horde armies, and Tau in art are a Horde army, right? They look good in the scale. I would buy so many of all of those things. I will not buy any Guard. I will not buy Guard unless it is an extension to, if it was like, hey, here's this thing and it's a Guardsman and it's a part of your Solar Auxiliary. If I'm not using it with Solar Auxiliary, if it is a replacement to Solar Auxiliary, I'm not buying it because I have Solar Auxiliary. I don't need new I don't need a reskin of Solar Auxiliary to play this game, right? But if it's like, hey, here's these guys are cheaper, or these guys are cheaper, lighter arm, not quite as good or something, I could, for infantry, that's the only way I could see them making infantry models that I would actually care about buying. I don't know what they would do about Basilisks, because Basilisks look completely different. Is it a new kit? Does it replace the old kit, or is it a separate thing? I don't know how they would do that, but I wouldn't buy them just because. If you did Guardsmen, I think the only way to do Guardsmen would be like, hey, here's Guardsmen, and here's Guardsmen, and it's an infantry unit that it's an infantry platoon, and for every 4 Guardsmen bases, you can have 2 bases of Guardsmen that are heavy weapon teams. That I would do. And they would look different to Solar Auxiliary, but they'd be an extension of the Solar Auxiliary army or something. But I'm not buying any of the tanks because I already have all the tanks. You was thinking before anything that they have to have Custodes so people can fully play a game recreating Siege of Terra. Also, what about Primarchs and Legions Imperialis? Primarchs would be... I would love to have Primarchs in the game. I just don't see how you can do it financially, because if you it's a single model that every person would only need 1 of. This box, I'd buy 1 of these boxes. I might buy 2 of these boxes. there might be somebody out there that buys 3 or 4 of these boxes, right? Layman Russes. People buy a few of those, you know? Infantry box. People are going to buy a few infantry boxes. They're not going to settle for just one. A Primarch, you only need one. So how do you sell it? How do you market that? Is it a single box with 18 Primarchs in it? With all 18 Primarchs? Is it and then what is it? Like a 3-wound infantry? It's probably a 3-wound infantry. It's got to have 4-up save because all infantry has a 4-up save. Or maybe it's a 3-up save. Maybe it's a 3-up save with a 5-up invult. Like, I don't know. Things die so quick in Legions Imperialis. There's like a template, right? No infantry model has a 3-up save. The best that they go, even the Saturnines, it's a 4-up save, but with more wounds. And that's kind of like the pattern that they do. I could see them doing a 3-up, doing 3-wound model. I don't know about the 3-up save, but like you have to make the guy better somehow. And then that's 20 new infantry, or 18. That's 18 new infantry models that you need rules for. Are they each unique, or do you just have a Primarch as a model? Why don't I undercoat my planes black? My major color is black. My major color is a contrast. Good question. Thank you for the question. My major color is contrast black Templar. It has a light green to it that may be harder to see. You can see the highlights on this. All I did was put black Templar down, and all those highlights are there. If I primed it black, see you later. Thanks for stopping by, Fanny. Thanks for the questions and the conversation. I had fun. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Hope the weather's good in Texas. Yeah. So if I did this black, I would have to be highlighting it with I don't know what color I'd be highlighting it with, but then I'd also have to paint these stripes where I put these stripes. I'd have to paint those white just so that I could paint them blue. So having it white already lets me get the contrast down where I want it. I would love some heavy weapons for Legions Imperialis. Space Marines with plasma cannons. Yeah, no, they definitely need to do those. They need to. I'm worried that they won't. The game's been out for so long, and I'm concerned that they won't do those things that they hinted and teased at, and I don't know. They may, or maybe it comes in. Maybe they decided to wait. Maybe they decided that it'll be a good release for a later wave. I think that I think they once Large Heresy gets its new kits, right? And maybe it already has. I don't exactly know. Large Heresy is getting or has recently gotten Secutari. I don't know. They got like some Mechanicum guys on stilts, I think. Am I thinking of the right game? I think not on stilts, but they got longer legs or something. I don't know. So they've got those guys. The Solar Auxiliary got Bellatori with guns, or they might have already had those, but then they were waiting on the Mechanicum guys, and they were waiting on the new Breachers for Space Marines. And my theory is that once Large Heresy gets those, then we get those, and those things become the cornerstones, the bulk options for the new Wave 2 infantry, for infantry Mark II, or however you want to call it. So I think I think in that we'll see, the next things. I think we'll see the Space Marines with other heavy weapons other than missile launchers. I think the change to missile launchers, where it is, what are missile launchers now? Let me look at this real quick. So missile launchers support detachment is AP1 anti-tank, and it's 20 inches. That's actually, so I think you could do, if you do a las cannon, if you do an infantry las cannon and you say it's AP1 anti-tank, hits on 4s, all the same stuff as a missile launcher, but it's got accurate. Well, that doesn't make any sense because then the Imperial Fist trait doesn't do anything to it. So, which really means the Imperial Fist trait needs to be changed. Or you could just have it as a cheaper. You could have it as the anti-tank portion of a missile launcher, but it's cheaper. I think if they cut the range a little bit, then that would give the las cannon room to be something different because it would have more range. A las cannon is typically not that either. So a las cannon would be, that's a Leviathan. Oh my goodness, why can't I pull this up? Contemptors have the twin link las cannon. Those are accurate, AP1, but they're 22 inches. So 2-inch range, it just isn't enough range to justify a new weapon. The only reason you take the new weapon is if it was cheaper, because the missile launcher has the ability to shoot infantry or tanks. You could do heavy bolters if they were 3 shots, because while they wouldn't do much for clearing out buildings, they would allow you to shoot at things in the open. I don't think that they would have the point defense, because I feel like the point defense on a vehicle's heavy bolters is because it is a stationary fixed position. They could make new rules to function that way, though. I don't know. Make your own and use them as standard bases. +5 to hit. +5 to hit for what? For the las cannon's missile launchers hit on 4s. Give it longer range. 2 inches just isn't 2 inches just isn't enough range difference. It would be a 2-inch range difference because the las cannons on tanks are 22 inches. So it just wouldn't be. What you could do is you could give it another shot. You could have it be 2 shots hitting on 4s, and then it's justifiable because it could do more damage to tanks. Now, some tanks have a las cannon that fires 1 shot, and some tanks have a las cannon that fires 2 shots. And it'll be the same number of las cannons on the tank. So there's not a precedent for las cannon should only fire 1 shot or 2 shot. So I think it's justifiable that you could say that a base of 5 Marines with las cannons would have 2 shots. I think that's fair to say. I don't know if you would necessarily, unless they were cheap, right? Unless they were like plasma guns in cost. Because what's a plasma gun cost? Let's look at it from the tactical attachments standpoint. You could buy a tactical Marine for 12 points. You could buy a plasma gun for 15. The missile launcher is 20. So if you make the las cannon 20 points, and just like the missile launcher, but it's got 2 shots, so that gives it value because it has the potential for more damage, but it doesn't have the flexibility. Might need to hit on 5s too, though. Might need to be worse at shooting because I think 2 shots on 4s with no AP would be, it's still really good compared to 3 shots hitting on 5s. with no AP. I don't know. I'm not doing the math. I can't do the math in my head right now. It's something that they'd have to hopefully take a look at. But the heavy bolters, maybe those are 15 points. Then, and so now they are like plasma guns in cost, but they have more shots but no AP. They also wouldn't have assault. I think that would work. And they hit on 5s. They have a little bit further range. They have a 12-inch range. Yeah, I think that works. I think that gives them value because they're cheaper than a missile launcher. They don't have the range of a missile launcher, but they have the potential to do more damage than a missile launcher. You just wouldn't want to shoot them into a building. Whereas a missile launcher, you could shoot into a building and you'd be fine. Multi-meltas, you need to review a lot of the weapon rules to make them work. We are a little out of sync. Oh, yeah, we seem to be very out of sync. What were you saying 5 up to hit for? What are you painting today, by the way? You're doing a painting session too, right? Could make missile launchers as 5 up to hit, anti-infantry, anti-tank. Makes las cannons and heavy bolters a 4 up to hit. No, because heavy bolter sponsons already exist. Heavy bolters and hull mounts and heavy bolters are everywhere, and they all hit on 5s. Autocannons also hit on 5s. I think rotor cannons hit on 5s too. So the precedent is already there. You could change the precedent. You could completely change it, and I think that that's an option. I don't want to discredit that. If you make missile launchers 5 up to hit, I think they nerfed something. I can't remember what it is, but I think they nerfed missile launchers with something. I think they used to have 2 shots against infantry, I think. I think they nerfed that and removed that from them. And are they also now they're also now 5 up to hit infantry. If you made them 5 up to hit tanks, that would be room to say that las cannons are 4 up to hit, and that makes them better. I think the other option is making las cannons a 2-shot weapon would be fine though. But again, that might be too good. That might be too good to even compare to heavy bolters. You can make heavy bolters 4 shots. Heavy bolters on infantry would be a 4-shot weapon. That would make sense because again, it'd be 4 or 5 guys with heavy bolters, whereas the vehicle mounted heavy bolters, it's only a sponson or 2. Or a hull mount or 2. Two las cannons hitting on 4s against infantry versus 4 heavy bolters hitting on 5s against infantry. I don't know. Both would have no AP. One would have longer range though. I mean, it's still 5 guys with las cannons though, so I guess that makes sense. And it would cost more. So you would take the one specifically because you want to shoot infantry that are out in the open. You set it up in a defensive position, and if somebody tries to charge at you, you overwatch them with it, and now you've got a detachment of 4 of them would be putting out 12 shots. So you're likely to get 2 hits against this detachment that's charging at you. And it would cost you potentially 30 points to do so. You're going on holidays tomorrow for the rest of June. That's awesome, dude. I hope you have fun. Where are you going? I enjoy having you here, but not so much that I would be wanting to kidnap you and force you to watch the channel. I'm just happy to have you here while I do. Why are you staring at me like that? I said I'm not kidnapping him. He's going on holiday. David's going on holiday. Assembling volcano cannon for upcoming Titan. Ooh, what kind of Titan? I think so. After this part, we get to the. After I do the bronze, we get to the silver, and there's not as much surface area of silver, but it is scattered all over the place. So and then we got blue. I'm gonna guess that I have 4 more rounds. I probably have 4 more hours to paint these guys. 4 more hours to do. That is my guess. I don't know how accurate it's gonna be. Could be less, could be more. But I think I will be done before the next live stream. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do for the next live stream. I think I might need to do a building. I don't think a building live stream is going to be as good. I think painting is better. I think I get more distracted on building. I don't know. I'll do a vote. I don't know how well that would work. I think I need to build a bunch of stuff, though, so that I can try to get it primed. So when I have a good day of weather, I can get that done. But since you're here, there's not a lot of people in here right now. Don't forget to hit that hit the thumbs up, guys, if you're enjoying this. If you're not enjoying it, tell me why. I will accept criticism. So my plan right now is I have a battle report ready. I want to have a battle report posted every Thursday. I would like to post a battle report every Thursday. I'd like to have it on time too. And it's difficult sometimes. But I think what I could do is like 3 times a month, I could have a battle report for you guys. The question is, what do I post on Thursdays? What do I post on those other Thursdays after that 3rd Thursday of the month? How do I make that work? I don't know yet. I'm open to feedback. I'm open to suggestions. And then, of course, there's the ultimate tactical guide, the ultimate solar auxiliary guide. Once I finish these guys, I think I'll start thinking about working on that video. I think I need to shake up my paint again. This is coming out wetter than I remember. We must be very out of sync. This is what I'm thinking there. Oh well. I'm almost done with these. I'm not seeing Toby hasn't logged on. Toby had been coming in for all of these. Hope he's doing all right. And then what was the other? Who else? Who else am I missing? I feel like there's another name I'm missing. And if you're watching this after the fact and you're upset that I'm forgetting your name, I apologize. That is what my brain does these days. It takes all the information that is important and it forgets it. But yeah, Titans. I'm thinking I'll try to do a few more Titans before the end of the year. Maybe. Maybe do some Titans after I finish these guys. These solar auxiliary. Or I tried to do some buildings. Or I tried to do some Mechanicum. Or I go right into Space Marines. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Let's shake this up a bit. It's starting to feel like it's getting a little too runny. Maybe dry out my brush a little. Get some of that excess water out. I tell you though, I think you missed this. In the very beginning of the channel, I was talking about how I had to get a new one. The old one was drying up. Here it is, actually. There it is. You can't see in there. Or you can see in there. You can see in there really well. Yeah, I pretty much spent it all. You know, there's a little bit in there, but it is chunky and not the best. For this stuff, use a nail paint shaker. I use a vortex mixer that I bought. I did the smallest amount of research that anyone ever researched online, and I decided this was the one for me. And it seems to work just fine. I don't know if there's better out there or not. I'm sure there is. But this one is mine. I was painting this. I was shaking this Balthazar Gold, shaking it a lot before the session because I could still see where it was still not mixed up all the way. And I was just like, wow, I'm glad I started doing this early because it is not ready for me to do. I probably shook it for 5 minutes. It was a lot of shaking. Andre 3000 would have been proud. Well, maybe not because I wasn't shaking it like a Polaroid picture. I was shaking it with a paint shaker. So I guess he would have been disappointed, maybe. If you get that joke, you're probably a millennial or older. Yep. F in the chat for the lost paint. I should decide now if they ever bring out Xenos factions. Will I get them all? Or should I restrain myself and focus only on a few? It's hard to say. Hard to say. I think. All right. Orcs or Eldar? Who would you get at this scale? Orcs might be harder to paint at this scale because you have to paint them green, but then you also have to paint them another color. Eldar, you could just be like, this one's all red. This one's all green. This one's all blue. This one's all black. They're like Skittles. But orcs, you could just paint them all green and then second color. What? Yellow? Yellow would probably be the easiest. Yeah, make them all speed freaks. They're bad moons. What are the other options? Purple, I guess. Green is bad. Well, yeah. So you paint them all green, but then you have to paint another color. You know, they're not. Their skin is green, but then the rest of them is something else. I don't think any orcs use green colored armor. Do they? Am I not thinking here? I think we do, or you do them, or white and black, but it's got to be checkered. It's got to be checkered color, and that might be miserable to paint. You could do red for the vehicles. I remember back in 3rd edition when war gear mattered a lot more. War gear was a lot more of a thing that you bought for your vehicles, and there was an upgrade for orc vehicles where if it was painted red, it goes faster. It actually goes faster. Good. All right, so between orcs and Eldar, probably Eldar. Who's next? Who's next on this leaderboard? What about? Did I say Eldar? Probably orcs. Between orcs and Eldar, probably orcs. Wait, is that what I said? What did I say? All right, so next would be Tyranids or Necrons. Necrons would be really easy to paint at this scale. I mean, prime them metallic, paint like their shoulders black or something. You know, paint a few places on them black, and then paint the rest of them. Give a little bit of green to them, right? And that's it. Boom, done. Tyranids would be a bit trickier, but with more options, better options. I think of this size, maybe you don't want that. Ooh, that's a tough choice, though. Orcs or Nids? I think I would go with Nids, but not Orcs or Nids. Oh, my goodness. My brain is not working. Between Necrons or Tyranids, I think I would go with... I think I'm more interested in Tyranids, but at the same time, I think it'd be really easy to have a really nice-looking Necron army. And that matters for something, right? Gotta matter for a little bit. Old epic armies had orcs. They were orcs. They were good for inspiration. While I was playing Saturday, somebody brought out like this old like tackle box with their old epic orcs in it. They just so happen to have it at the store or something. I don't know, but they weren't. It wasn't painted. It was like barely painted or anything. It wasn't something I could do anything with. I or anyone else. What do you think, Crayola?
What? Yes.
Orcs or Eldar? Then you just pick. I'm sorry, but you're in. It's supposed to be a big moment. You were just supposed to say.
Oh, can I have a picture?
I can't do a picture right now. I'd have to type and stuff. No. Orcs or Eldar? Orcs or elves?
Oh, elves.
There you go. Elves or Eldar.
We could have said that.
Space elves are called Eldar, and space orcs are called space orcs. Very simple.
Elves.
All right. Tyranids, which are lizard bug people,
Mhm.
space lizard bug people that want to eat everything,
Okay.
or Necrons, which are
They're like necromancers.
kind of,
Hey.
they are like metallic skeleton people, Egyptian people. Very light on the Egyptian people. Also, super advanced technology.
What's my first option? Tyranids.
Tyranids,
And they're bugs.
space lizard bugs. I like to think they're a little bit lizard-like.
I
Fight
guess bugs.
Bugs?
Bugs.
Boo, the destroyer strikes again.
I say bugs.
Bugs?
Bugs.
Bugs Bunny?
Bugs.
She had nothing left. Okay, what else? What else we got? We got Tau. Who do we get to choose from among the Tau? Fish people. Fish people with advanced weaponry. Not as advanced as the Necrons. Communist fish people. Important to bring out that part. What other major race is there? What am I forgetting about? Dark Eldar versus Leagues of Votann. Dark Eldar at this scale frighten me because of all the sharp, pointy things. My brother stopped playing Dark Eldar because he stepped on a raider, whatever they call him, Void Raider, whatever. The little Corsair ship thing with all the, it looks like a giant cow trap with cow traps growing off of it. So, you know, Sisters versus Gene Stealer cults. The problem with Sisters versus Gene Stealer cults is Gene Stealer cults is just another form of Sisters. But I would say Sisters. I would say Sisters. Because Gene Stealer cults is just Guard and Tyranids at the same time. Dark Eldar versus Leagues of Votann. If they do Leagues of Votann, I'm painting them like Ninja Turtles. Old metal Dark Eldar were a real hazard. Yes. People died. I got stabbed in the ear. I wasn't looking. I was on the ground. It was a bad time. I don't know. I can't think of any other races right now to say to go up of, because I don't want to compare. I don't want to compete Sisters of Battle against Tau. I don't feel like that is Sisters of Battle are just another form of the Imperium, right? So like that they shouldn't have to deal with that bullshit, that BS. Like I'm gonna get Sisters of Battle just because a bunch of hundreds of robes on the battlefield would be pretty cool to paint. You know, they may not do Sisters of Battle though. They may. What they could end up doing is having if they do it and they say, hey, this isn't really like set in a particular time frame, this is just stuff, and now you have all these different factions. These are just factions from across the time frame, and it's kind of they could release an army for the HUD. Ooh, they could release mega arachnids too. Although that doesn't really make any sense because that's only on the planet Murder. I'd still buy it. Oh, this is too much water. I didn't dry off my brush after I cleaned it. Whoops. I'm on the last one. And if we followed the 2-hour time frame of the stream, which isn't set in stone or anything, I have 9 minutes left. 8 minutes left. But that's not set in stone, so it doesn't matter. I'm missing a faction. I feel like I'm missing a faction, and this isn't fair to me. Let's see real quick. What can I find? Really would like it if they would just come on and show us a new thing already. All right. So you get knights, you get all right. Ignore the armies of the Imperium. Let's look at ignore the armies of Chaos too, because that's technically covered by that. So Eldarian Drukhari, Genestealer cults, Leagues of Votan, Necrons, Orcs, Tal Empire, Tyranids. We did Tyranids versus Necrons. We did Orcs versus Eldar. Oh, so Tal again. So there's really nothing left. Leagues of Votan. I guess you could do Leagues versus Tal. Drukhari, I'm not really including in this because I'm kind of demons would be against the Custodes, right? Demons would come out alongside Custodes, or shortly thereafter or something. I'm kind of envisioning this as like if they came out with all these different armies, which ones would I, instead of buying all of them, if I were to limit myself and only be allowed to buy one out of every 2, how would I do it? And I would go Orcs instead of Eldar, or maybe I do Eldar instead of Orcs. I don't know. Maybe I do Eldar, Orcs, Necrons, and then Tal instead of what? I'm not seeing Genestealers. I'm just not seeing Genestealers alongside anything. Like, that'd be like a byproduct of Tyranids, right? If I do Tyranids, and Tyranids can have Genestealer cults. And then Drukhari, I'm kind of like, I guess you could have a whole thing, but yeah, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. You could have a whole Drukhari faction, but like in my mind, I'm just kind of thinking of them as like, well, they're all elves, so I'm not really giving them the credit they probably deserve, and I apologize. Lighter stream today. Not as many people came by. I guess it's day 2 of Arvus Lighters, so, or week 2 of Arvus Lighters, so not really that much going on with them. And I did have that bunch of trouble at the beginning of the live stream. That probably didn't help. Probably did not assist me very much. But for anyone that did watch, I do appreciate it. And I appreciate all the comments and everything. It's nice. It's nice to be able to paint with some people chatting. People to talk to. I'll have to check out Fanny's. Fanny Pack? Is that the name? Fanny? Yeah, Fanny Packs and Kittens. I'll have to check out their stuff when I get a chance. James, it might just be you in here now. Assuming you're still in here. I don't know who's in here. Is there a way to see participants? That can't be right. All right. Well, I'm going to see if we can finish this last one off. That would be nice. I was saying it in the beginning of the video. There comes a point where you start to feel very good about where you're at on the model. It starts to feel like each brush stroke is getting you closer to the finish line. There's also a point where each brush stroke does not feel like it's getting you any closer. And it just feels like this painful task that you have to do. We're past that point. That point is not a fun point to be at. That point was the other week when I was painting all of those, all of the trim on those 4 shadow swords. Goodness, that was rough. That was a lot of work. But this is coming along very nicely. Very nicely indeed. I think at some point I may have to get some more of these and do them as destroy them, essentially. Have them as some wreckage, some collapsed, crashed sites, perhaps even some objectives. That'll be good. I'll enjoy that. The real question is, how will I paint it when I do that? Do I paint it to look like these guys? Or do I paint it something different? Do I paint it to look like the paint was burned off of it? I think that's a good option. Well, you don't have to worry so much about getting the paint job just right. If it's something you can slap around a bit and make it look destroyed, make it look burned out, I have to give that a go. Got a couple of ideas for a bunch of different terrain I want to make. Scattered terrain, destroyed things, rubble. Got some ideas. Got some plans. Big things in the making. I just have to finish what I'm currently working on. And that's the problem of it all. There's always something to be worked on. Always another model, always another kit. But it's a lovely day out. It's a lovely day out. Got all the time in the world. I could paint. I could keep painting for a while. I don't have any other responsibilities today. I just keep working on this until I eventually finish it. But I do think I would like to go outside at some point. So let me finish this up. Let me finish up this color. I'll be done with ones. I won't have to worry about it unless I mess something up at some point later on. Then we'll come back to it. Paint the rest of this in a last things I'm going to have left to do is going to be the silver lead belcher. These guys are going to be great. I probably should have talked about some tactics for these guys a lot earlier on in the video. And for that, I apologize. But these things are going to let me transport my guys in, fly them in behind enemy lines. The challenging part is anybody can overwatch them. It's impossible to hide them as they move around the board because flyers are visible. Flyers do not have true line of sight. Flyers are just always visible. You can't hide them behind anything. But nothing can hide from them either. So that's nice. Bit of a buff and debuff at the same time. But when these guys don't have guns. These guys don't care about being able to see anybody. These guys would rather be blind and you blind to them if given the choice. So what you got to do is you got to fly them in, get them to the backfield, drop off some infantry, drop off some something to take and hold some objectives, some maybe put some guys in there that can some Velatari or something in there if you want to charge them, but that takes a while. If you try to charge out of these, you got to wait a turn. So what you end up doing is you fly these on, you have them drop off and put the Velatari somewhere where next turn they can charge, and you go from there. Or you drop off a unit of las rifles with some flamethrowers, and you drop them off next to a building that you need to burn everything out of. And your flamethrowers aren't going to have any issues with that because they ain't going to cover. But you'll need a bunch of them because it's still not the best. Still not the best for trying to kill Space Marines or anything. It's on, I think it's on a 4. I think they hit on a 4 and they have no AP. So let's take a quick look. Yep, hits on a 4. But hitting on a 4 is better than hitting on a 5, like the las rifles have. Las rifles also have the ripple fire, though, if you give them first fire order, which you wouldn't be able to give them first fire order with this. But what you end up doing is you end up having these guys trying to get a flamethrower next to a building to burn out the building is very difficult. Now, maybe you're playing against another solar player. Killing their commander would be beneficial to you. But also you could be playing against Mechanicum and killing, if you can kill the tech priest, if you can get behind them and shoot down the tech priest, because the tech priest is in range, but the other guys aren't in range. So that's where having the ability to fly in and land them where you want them to be, land them behind the enemy, gives you a chance to make a good play. Or you can capture the objective, or you can set up for a later turn charge. Or you can fly this guy up and then have him have a commander in there so that you can be in range to bomb, to explode a Cyclops. He's got to be in a certain range to do that. Okay, so I am missing one thing. Missing 2 things. I'm not done yet. I thought I was done. Yeah, a little bit more to do. A little bit more, and then we'll be done. Gotta paint this little bit there, and that little paint there. This little part here. That little part there, all these little guys. I think that's it. Yeah. Just right there. Going a little bit over that time limit that I discussed with myself. But that's okay. I can break my own rule. Double check, make sure I got all the browns on all of it. Missed that a little bit there. Oh, I missed it on this side too. Uh-oh. What are the chances I missed it on all of them? Constantly talking for 2 hours straight is making me feel a little lightheaded. Oh, completely missed the underside of this. All right, so we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're not done just yet. We're getting there. I think this is the last guy. I'll double check after I finish them. And that was the music, so I need to pick another one. Let's do this one. Let's finish off a little electro swing. And let's finish off without a commercial break. Oh, I can't stop the commercial break. So I need to wait a second and then hit skip. Paint those. Paint that. A little bit of a mistake there. It's okay. I'll fix it later. No big deal. It's all fixable. Almost there. Just about. Come on. Oh, I forgot. I gotta do that still. Almost done. How's it going, everybody? Don't be shy. What are you working on? How is everybody doing? Are we enjoying ourselves on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon? Well, is that? Are you able to see that pretty good? How's that look on your screen? Can you see these little things that I'm painting? I don't know what those are supposed to be. I don't know what that little box would be there. But it's got like a little keyhole looking thing, like an inverted keyhole. I don't know what it's supposed to be. So I just painted it however. I just figured I'd make it something a little different so that it can be, have some sort of purpose to it. And right now that purpose is to just break up the model and make it not look like it's a solid piece of some other color. I think it's doing a fantastic job of that. I just don't know what it is. Well, I'm finding spots that I've missed previously. If you're painting anything, let me know what you're painting. I love hearing what you guys are up to. Got any questions on anything I'm painting, let me know. But also, I don't have anything. I had something there. I don't. That was it. That question wasn't going to go anywhere. But also, hit that thumbs up. There you go. This one I really messed up on. I can see my mistakes all over it. And now as I try to finish this, I'm kind of rushing a little bit and messing up the brush. Ooh, there's a big spot. Good enough. We're in the home stretch now. I think I'll make that. I think I'll make, no, never mind. For a second, I thought I was going to make that a different color. But I've decided not to, as I realize it's identical to another part somewhere else on the engine. So it is not just one thing I would have to paint. I would have to paint all of them around that spot. That bit right coming out there, it exists there too. The only difference is that part is, I thought that made it different right there. That thing coming out and going this way. And that is right there too. The only difference is this one has this bottom piece that kind of comes along it, but that's because that's where the mold was. So it doesn't actually, it's not actually its own thing. It's not actually a individual part of that engine where it would look different. It would potentially look different from the rest of the engine, and thus could be its own entity. So we're gonna not mess with it. I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like I'm done now. I feel like I'm done for real now. I jinxed it. Right down there. Right in there. Didn't I already go over you once? I'm just missing stuff. Oh my goodness. 4 spots on this engine. on this Arvus Lighter on its engines. Quality control is going downhill quickly. I think I might be on my limit here. Come on. Let me finish it though. Let me finish before we crash out. Just let me finish what we're working on. And then I can go lay down. And all will be right with the world. That looks good. I need a second. I need just a sec here. It's not like I skipped a punch or anything. Oops. That looks better. Probably paint something dark down there. I'm sure the shade will get it though. And I can see where I didn't get down in between that gap. Can't quite get an angle on it, but I can see it. And it's an eyesore. Got a little bit more paint on my palette, so let's try to use it up. This is ridiculous. I've missed the same spot like 5 times now. I have to remember as I get closer to finishing, I have to remind myself, don't forget to clean my brushes. I think it's as good as I can get it. There we go. All right. Those are done. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit thumbs up for me. Helps me in getting my videos viewed by more people. Lets me know that people like it and that I should continue even bothering to do this. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all of my painting mods. And we get to play with these guys. This is what the silver is going to look like once I finish it. It's gonna, so this is an almost finished model that I was working on for the for a painting tutorial. The missile rack here is going to be painted differently, of course. That on both sides is going to be yellow. That'll be red. I think that'll be yellow also. I haven't decided yet. Probably. The cockpit will, of course, have a blue light. That might be red. That little wire right in there. You can see the silver in there and stuff. And then I'll wash everything. I'll put a big wash on it. So I'll actually do the cockpit and the yellow lights after the fact. But everything else is pretty much going to look like this. And then they'll be done. And that is what the plan is. I may or may not. We'll see. Maybe I finish it before the next live, and then the next live stream will be Layman Russ's, probably. Or maybe I'll still be working on these. I don't know. This took 2.5-ish hours to do the copper portion on 6 of them, because I had done it on 2 of them prior to. So that is going to be all the time we have for today. I do appreciate you all flying by. This is Inspired Game, and I'll see you next time.